Oh, hey there. What's going on? Another YouTube video. We're back. We're going to try to attempt to be a YouTuber again. UFC Fight Night, Vallejos versus Josh Emmett. Just came off of a crazy weekend. It was Oliveira versus Max Holloway. Pretty fire fight. Just kidding. It was a 5-round fight. Charles Oliveira fucking ragdolled Max Holloway. Who guessed that one? Anyways, we're going to jump right into this. Wait, we gotta do one of those. 4. A little swig. Piero Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. This is also gonna be like super everywhere. I haven't done tape yet. It's Tuesday, so I'm just picking fights. If you want all my plays, they're going to be in the description. I have a Discord where I post all my plays and all my bets and whatever. This one's tough. I know that Sam Hughes is a small underdog. They fought before. Fight was close, but Piero Rodriguez definitely won. I just think overall, Sam Hughes' competition has been a little bit better recently than Piero Rodriguez, and I've liked what I've seen from Sam Hughes. And I'm so used to getting Sam Hughes at plus 200, plus 300, so it's tough to get behind her at plus 125. But I actually kind of like her. This fight definitely goes to a decision, so either side you want to take by decision, I don't hate it. But I'm gonna go with, as an underdog, Sam Hughes. I just think she's on the minutes on the feet, she's gonna win, and then the grappling is competitive. So give me Sam Hughes as a dog. Next up, Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu. I think Elijah Smith's got this one either by knockout or by decision. Elijah Smith is a very promising guy that I actually enjoy watching a lot. Too much length for Su Young Yu, who's going to try to get this fight down to the mat. Elijah Smith's just longer everywhere and might be the better wrestler here. So I actually don't mind the minus 200 for Elijah Smith. Like I said, depending on the price, everything has to do with prices. I'll be either interested in a KO or a decision, whichever one pays better, whichever one makes more sense. But yeah, quick one. I'm just running through these because who wants to talk about like these fights, right? Bia Mesquita versus Montse Rendon. I can't remember the odds exactly on this one, but I don't mind Rendon. I don't mind this fight going the distance. I actually prefer fight to go the distance over Rendon. Bia Mesquita is obviously very talented in jiu-jitsu, but we don't really know what she has outside of that. So we know Rendon can stop people that aren't ready to be in the UFC. So this is the test to see if Mesquita deserves to be in the UFC or not. This is really what this fight is. But yeah, I think usually when that happens, the fight goes the distance, and usually the fighter that is promising wins a decision. We saw that with Dante Johnson and Cody Brundage last week. I took Dante Johnson by decision at plus 650. Great value on that play. And the UFC judges, they always try to get that promising prospect the win, even if the fight goes the distance and maybe they didn't win the fight necessarily. They're always going to try to get Mesquita that victory. So I actually like Mesquita by decision. Rendon, I think it's one of those plays where Rendon by decision should have paid, but for some reason the judges gave it to Mesquita by decision. So give me a Mesquita by decision. Luan Lacerda versus Etcher Sosa. I'm all over Etcher Sosa here. That's not his record. I just think he's going to be too good. Striking's too good. Luan Lacerda kind of absorbs shots, not in the best ways. This one's an easy one for me. I think Sosa's like a minus 250. Give me Sosa. He should be able to just implement his game plan against Luan Lacerda. All right. Balaji Oki versus Manuel Sosa. This one's a tough one. I saw that again, not his record for Sosa, But this one's a tough one. When I saw the odds, I was like, damn, I want to grab Oki. And Oki actually opened as like a +3 something dog, bet all the way down to +2 something. So sharps, when they saw the line open, they thought the same thing with Oki. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna have to pick Sosa here, but I can't get behind -2, high twos, -300. I just can't. But man, it's tough. I just think Oki's one of those guys where he's always gonna look plus EV because he's so talented. He is a very talented fighter, but he just sometimes doesn't do enough, and his fight IQ is always strange. You know, like we can talk about the times he's been caught in submission that, you know, he could have got out of, and then he put his head back in, and then he got like choked out by Chris Duncan. It's like the guy makes questionable decisions in there, and I don't know enough about Sosa, but it seems like I can trust him to win the fight. You know, his fight IQ doesn't seem shaky or rocky in any way, so I'm gonna pick Sosa, but I'm definitely not gonna bet Sosa. It depends on where the line goes, but if we can get a little maybe closer to that +300, I can grab Oki. Probably Oki gets it done by decision, knockout or decision, but knockout's unlikely. I think Oki's path is by decision. I think Sosa's path is like a round 2, round 3 knockout. Late, he kind of breaks down guys, so maybe a late knockout. But yeah, those are the angles I'd want to grab, is like Oki by decision or Sosa by late finish / decision. We move on. Merle Tebek, oral by, yeah, and Chris Curtis. I think Earl Bai's got this one. Chris Curtis is washed. Same thing about the Oki fight, honestly. Like, Oki and Chris Curtis are guys that are going to always be like, they look plus EV at the end of the fight, or they looked plus EV at the beginning of the fight, but they always have their hands up like, I didn't do enough, judges. Like, I didn't win that fight. Like, it's like Chito Vera all over again. They're the same prototype of guys. They're always going to be close in fights, but they don't do enough. And I trust Urubai. We know enough about Urubai to know that he's going to grapple his ass off, and he's going to give 100% effort. So I think Urubai's got this one. I have trouble seeing a finish, though. I'm not sure if the odds are indicating that there's a finish here, but I think I got Urubai by decision. We move. Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. I don't want to give a pick here because this is one of the saddest fights I've ever seen. But I'm gonna go with Eric Anders as a dog, slight dog. I'm gonna take him by decision. And decision's tough to say because both guys could be knocked out by literal wind. But Brad Tavares, and I'm sure Brad Tavares probably has more like decision upside or equity. I just think Anders can be durable, and I understand that we can go and say like, oh, he hasn't been durable recently, but he also has fought better competition than Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares is getting knocked out by God knows who, you know, and Eric Anders, a knockout to Duncan's not terrible, especially because Duncan's climbing in rank and he looks pretty good. I took Duncan by first round knockout in that fight. I was very happy about that bet. But I don't think Eric Anders is as washed as Brad Tavares. That's pretty much what it's going to come down to, and he's a dog. So you're going to give me the dog who's I believe is more durable. But this is like the definition of a fight you want to stay away from. There's literally no value here. Eric Anders could be up, destroying Tavares, and then Tavares just lands a jab on Anders and knocks him out. You know, that's the type of fight it could be. Or Brad Tavares could throw a leg kick and Eric Anders is compromised off of the first leg kick. It's like, this fight's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty silly. So that's the 1-800 fight of the night. We move. Charles Johnson versus Bruno Silva. I actually like a lot, and I know this one's going to be tough, and maybe in hindsight it's going to look terrible, but I like Charles Johnson, and I don't mind the -200 price. I took Bruno Silva in his last fight against that one Asian guy. by sub, I believe. I'm not sure if the sub came through. I can't even remember. But I definitely took Bruno Silva as a dog. And Silva looked good. Charles Johnson is going to be too big, too long. Pause. But he is going to be the longer guy, and I don't trust Silva to knock out Charles Johnson. And yeah, I know. Charles Johnson is 1 month detached from fighting and losing by knockout to Alex Perez. But Charles Johnson is the type of guy that wants to get right back in there as soon as he gets the result that he didn't want. And we've seen the guy. I mean, you guys know. We've seen the guy knock out Loner Kavanaugh. We've seen him knock out Joshua Van. So it's kind of ridiculous to go from those guys. I understand he got knocked out by Alex Perez. I get it. But it's kind of ridiculous to go from those guys who are literally top 3 in the division, Kavanaugh, to Bruno Silva, and Charles Johnson's only a minus 200. And I know it's because of the knockout loss, but this is the get back spot. Bruno Silva is just not dangerous. He's not dangerous. I need somebody that's dangerous. And I know Alex Perez doesn't seem to be dangerous, but obviously he knocked out Charles Johnson. He got caught. Bruno Silva, I can't trust to be dangerous. On the feet, I mean. It's like stylistically, yes, on the ground he's very dangerous. I understand that. But on the feet, I don't trust him to be dangerous. So, give me Charles Johnson by decision. Bruno Silva is pretty tough, pretty durable. So I'm going to take Charles Johnson by decision there. This is the most interesting fight to me of the night. Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplund. I've picked Asplund yesterday, and the day before I picked Petrino, and I think the day before I picked Asplund. I've been 50-50 about this one, and usually when you're 50-50 about a fight, you want to go with the dog in Asplund. But I'm not. I'm going to take Petrino. I can't get the Denzel fight out of my head, and he dominated Asplund. And Petrino is a great grappler who will wrestle fuck you for 15 minutes. He will do it. We've seen him do it. Even when he has the advantage on the feet, he will still go and wrestle you. So I think Petrino puts on his fucking wrestling pads and he gets to work on Asplund. I think Asplund can win and is very good and can win fights in the UFC. This one's particularly a tough one because of the grappling. So I'm going to go with Petrino. I think he gets a sub late, a round 2 or round 3 sub. I don't trust Asplund to hang around with Petrino. Petrino's just too dangerous. So I'm going to take a sub here. I think Asplund's good enough to not get knocked out by Petrino, but I think Petrino uses his weapons on the feet to close the distance, get to Asplund, grab him down, and find a sub. So I'm going to go 2 or 3. Another interesting one. This tough one. Not his record, once again. But we got Harry Hardwick, versus Marwan Rahiki. I don't want to keep betting favorites or grabbing favorites. Well, actually, no, not betting because these are picks. I don't want to keep picking favorites. But I love what I've seen from Marwan Rahiki. I mean, besides obviously him getting absolutely crushed in the first round of his Dana White Contender Series fight. And he came back in that fight and he looked great. Rahiki we don't know enough about him, and I don't know enough about him to bet him at minus 250 here. I get Hardwick looked really bad against Kai, but Hardwick's good. Like, he has better competition than Rahiki. He has more experience. He has a nice style where both guys are going to try to pressure here. But I think Rahiki in his debut might give up in the first round, give up the center. I think Hardwick's going to come in and want to establish that center. And I think that could actually help Hardwick. And maybe kind of get Rahiki guessing a little bit. Maybe The lights are a little bit too bright. I don't agree with the price, man. I think at the price, I'm gonna pick Rahiki. At the price, I'm probably gonna bet Harry Hardwick here. Honestly, I get he's very live to be knocked out here, but we don't know enough about Rahiki yet to bet him at minus 250. We just don't. And what we've seen in the if you go and watch that Dana White Contender Series fight, come back and tell me you're gonna take him as a minus 250. I can't. If you can, shit, go for it. I can't. So I think this is a pick on Rahiki, bet on Harry Hardwick. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be there. Andre Fili versus Jose Delgado. I think Delgado's got this one in the bag, honestly. And it sucks to say because the matchup should be fireworks. We should see a good fight. But I think it's going to be one of those ones where both guys are landing on each other. And you're like, oh, shit, Andre Fili might be back. You know, he landed on Delgado. Delgado landed on him, but he took that shot. And they're just going back and forth. They're trading. Until round 2, Delgado says, you know what? I'm kind of tired of this shit. Bang. Puts a right hand on Philly's chin and says, that's the fight. I don't trust Philly to hang around. I don't trust Philly's chin to hang around with Delgado. I've seen Delgado hit guys way too hard. I see a second round or third round knockout here against Delgado. Club and subs not like out of the picture, but most likely a KO here. Philly's like, well, I don't know. But yeah, most likely a KO. Yeah, I got Delgado here. Cutelaba versus Omar Sy. This one's a one where I'm going to have to tape more. I'm going to give you my pick just off of what I know, but definitely one I got to tape a little bit better. I'm gonna pick Omar. You know, I'm gonna pick Ian Cutelaba. I think I haven't seen him dominated on the ground recently, and that's Omar Sy's whole plan. And Omar Sy has already failed us multiple times as a favorite. Cutelaba's a step up in competition here. Might be the best fighter he's fought in the UFC, and the price is attractive. So for now, I need to tape this fight better. But for now, I'm gonna lean Cutelaba at the price we're getting. Okay, Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. Give me, dude, give me. Give me Lemos. I'm sure we're getting like a plus. I mean, I'm assuming we're getting a +2 or +3. But if we're not, then like give me Jillian Robertson. But like I assume we're getting like a +2 or 300 in Lemos. Let's pretend that it's +2 or 3. Lemos has way better competition. Yes, she's been dominated on the ground by girls similar to Jillian Robertson, I know. But she's faced better competition. She has better wins. If she can defend a couple takedowns, especially early, because Robertson, yes, in the first and second round gets takedowns very easily. And I'm not denying Robertson's great. But tired in the third round, rough fight. Lemos never decides to give up her back. Never decides to quit trying to get up. Robertson's tired. Round 3, Lemos is putting it on her. Lemos has dangerous submissions in her own right. +2, +300. So, give me Lemos. Give me Lemos here. Main event, Josh Emmett, Kevin Vallejos. I'm a huge Kevin Vallejos fan. Probably my favorite up-and-coming guy. I think Vallejos got this in the bag, man. I think stylistically it's not a terrible matchup for Josh Emmett. As in, it's a guy that's not going to take him down constantly. It's a guy that's not super long and is going to kickbox him, or, you know, Yusuf Zalal that's going to sub him. It's a guy that's going to fight the same way that Josh Emmett wants to fight, which is get in boxing range and fight. But we've seen this before with Josh Emmett, where the type of fighters where you assume the matchup makes sense for him to do well, he shies away. It's kind of an odd thing. When he fights guys that, are long strikers, he's the one that's pressuring hard. But then he fights a small striker like Ilya, and he's kind of scared. He kind of just hops around the octagon, and he doesn't fight the same way. I think we can say the same thing here in a confident Kevin Vallejos, a guy that has gone to war with John Silva. He's looked good against Giga Chikadze. He got a knockout there. These are names that aren't bad names. Like John Silva is obviously at the top of the division. Giga Chikadze was at the top of the division. These are good wins. This isn't a guy that's stepping up to a huge. This isn't like the biggest competition ever. I honestly think John Silva is better than Josh Emmett, and knocks out Josh Emmett. And Vallejos took John Silva's best shots, and he gave John Silva some big shots. So yeah, I got Vallejos by late knockout or by decision. I'm talking round 4, round 5 knockout / decision. Depending on the price we're getting, I might be able to take some shots at a late knockout. But that's going to be it. Like I said, if you want all my plays, just make sure I'll put the link in the description to join my Discord where I post all my plays. But these were kind of just like a quick pick video. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, please let me know. Great video, guys. We talked UFC. We drank a little bit. I mean, this is what America's about, I think. So, I mean, have a good one, guys. Like, that's all I have to say, really. Like, have a great one.